Hello everyone, welcome to General Science class. Today we are going to talk about velocity time graph. So velocity time graph is a graphical representation which shows how the velocity of an object change with time. So this is a typical example of velocity time graph, and in this velocity time graph we have three sections. So this triangular section is where the acceleration is taking place, and this rectangular section is where an object is moving at a uniform velocity, and this triangular section is where the deceleration is taking place. So we are given this velocity time graph and we are asked to use it and calculate the acceleration, deceleration, and total distance traveled. So let us start by calculating our acceleration. So acceleration is equal to change in velocity all over change in time. So change in velocity is equals to final velocity minus initial velocity, and change in time too is equals to final time minus initial time. So let us go to our velocity time graph and look at what is our final velocity and what is our initial velocity, and also what is our final time and what is our initial time. So as we can see here, the object starts moving from this point, that is point A, and accelerate to this point, that is point B. So at this point where the object starts moving, that is where our that is where our initial velocity is. So as we can see here, the value here is 0, so our initial velocity is 0. So the object accelerates to this point, that is point B, with a velocity of 20 meters per second. So our final velocity is 20 meters per second. So remember, when the initial velocity is 0, the initial time is 0 too. So our t1, which is initial time, is 0 seconds. Then when the object accelerates to point B, the time changes to 10 seconds. Therefore this is our final time. So our final time, which is t2, is equal to 10 seconds. So let us substitute this in our acceleration equation. So therefore acceleration is equals to 20 minus 0 all over 10 minus 0, and this is the same as 20 all over 10, because 20 minus 0 is equals to 20. 10 minus 0 is equals to 10. So 20 divided by 10 is equal to 2. Therefore our acceleration is equal to 2 meters per second square. So now let us calculate our deceleration. So we are going to use the same equation to calculate the deceleration, but as we can see here, the deceleration is taking place at this point or this portion of the velocity time graph. And first of all, let us find out what is our initial velocity, what is our final velocity, and also what is our final and initial time. So the object start moving from this point to this point using a speed of 20 meters per second, and the object keep moving to this point, that is point C, using the same speed. So we are calculating the deceleration. So the deceleration starts taking place from this point. So from this point, the object decelerates to this point. So our speed at this point is going to be our initial velocity. So our initial velocity here is 20, because from this point to this point, the speed or the velocity didn't change. Then from point C, then the object decelerates to point D. So when the object reach point D, that is where we can look for our final velocity. So at this point, the final velocity is 0. Therefore, B, which is final velocity, is equals to 0 meter per second. Then our initial time is going to be from here. So at this point, that is at the point where the object starts decelerating, our time is equals to 30 seconds. So our T1, which is initial time, is 30 seconds. And when the object reach this point, our time is equals to 40 seconds. So our T2, which is equals to final time, is equal to 40 seconds. So let us substitute this in this equation. Then we have this: deceleration is equals to 0 minus 20 all over 40 minus 30. So this is the same as deceleration is equals to minus 20, because 0 minus 20 is equals to minus 20, and 40 minus 30 is equals to 10. Therefore, minus 20 divided by 10 is equals to minus 2. Therefore, our deceleration is equals to minus 2 meter per second square. So then let us calculate our total distance traveled. So we are going to use this formula to calculate our total distance traveled, which says total distance is equals to a half open bracket A plus B close bracket H. So as we can see from the equation, this from this point to this point, like from point B to point C, that is our A. Therefore, from point B to point C can be obtained by let's say subtracting 10 from 30. Like 30 here minus 10 will give you from this point to this point, which is 20. Then that is our A. So then our B is equals to from this point, which is point A, to this point, which is point D, and 40 minus 0 is going to be our B. Therefore, 40 minus 0 is equals to 40. Then our H is equals to this. Like H means height. From this point to this point is gonna be our height. So our height is 20. So putting this into, or substituting these values into our equation, we have total distance is equals to a half open bracket 20 plus 40 close bracket 20, and this is the same as total distance is equals to 0.5, that is 1 divided by 2 is equals to 0.5, and 20 plus 40 is equals to 60, then times 20. So our total distance is equals to 600 meters. So thank you so much for watching, and see you later.